Um, Tonight, I want to make it open mic. There's so much to talk about. I mean, well, we got 100 days down and 1,400 or more days to go in the term, and we haven't even finished batting practice yet for this new term, this new season, this new republic. It's gonna, I think it's gonna blow our minds and set us beyond expectations that we're even capable of dreaming. It's What I want to focus on tonight is, how so many people, maybe even the majority, seem to have an optic that the world's fallen apart instead of it breaking open. They're they're looking at the glass half empty instead of the glass half full, or they're afraid, or they're just paralyzed. They don't know how to process what's going on, and they don't know where to turn for comfort or patience or solace. So, you know, I I think everybody here, and again, I want to thank you for being here. This is it's definitely not the end. It's a call to evolve. It's a call for us to know and grow, um, adapt, or just be left behind. Um, I mean, it's an era of all new everything. Um, we're going from a world of deep state to deep truth, if you will. And it's going to be new for all of us. None of us on this call have all the answers. I think we're more hopeful, we're optimistic. We see what the potential lies. We see that the cork is coming out of the champagne bottle, and we're going to have an unbelievable rest of our lives to explore our purpose. Yet at the same time, we have to figure out what that is. It's I love to say the greatest transfer of wealth in human history, but it's not just a let's don't distill it down to some physical monetary checkbook account. It's not wealth is spiritual and riches are physical, but the tools will be there for us to provision our purpose. But if we don't have a purpose, you can have all the tools in the world and still be empty and hollow and unhappy and never have enough stuff. So we got to get our priority of purpose first, and then hopefully we will be purposed with resources to live the life maybe that we never ever ever dreamed possible. And we certainly weren't taught or trained or educated to dream the impossible dream like I believe we're going to be capable of creating for all of us. So no particular order tonight. It's the first 100 days. I think I heard the press conference. It was it was so well articulated by JD Vance that for the last 40 years we've had nothing but placeholders and people doing very little or continuing the new world order, the thousand points of lights, or fighting wars and keeping all of the military industrial and medical industrial and media industrial complexes in the swamp waters churning. And in the first 100 days of President Trump's administration, it's probably the single greatest 100 days of any president in American history, from a standpoint of change, from a standpoint of the first CEO to ever sit in the White House and take on the establishment and the status quo. So a lot to talk about there. Um, you know, the the U.S. Ukraine deal. Um, if anybody thinks that's just a simple little minerals deal, I don't think they're processing it very deeply. It's an everything deal. It's a jurisdictional deal. It's a surveillance deal. It's a uncover the hidden secrets of CrowdStrike and Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton emails and bioweapon labs and Biden properties and human trafficking corridors and ports and A lot of things the deep state writ large never wanted us to ever know about or find out. It's going to, I believe, be pretty utterly impossible for the awakenings that come out of Ukraine not to shock the world and bring down a lot of pillars of power. Um, Revaluation, gold, IQD, XRP, the quantum financials. Oh Lord, where are we going? Economic news looks like the Fed's hands are completely tied, and yet we have a political animal in the non-governmental organization known as the Federal Reserve who doesn't want to do anything that might benefit Trump or the MAGA movement, and or provide liquidity into the market, which would give credit to Trump and be an endorsement of his economic policies and make gold go up and asset prices go up and XRP and XLM and XDC and HBAR and you name it. Anybody with assets are going to see an unbelievable increase as risk on assets go up as interest rates go down. I think the latest I read was that the market, the collective wisdom of the market is there'll be at least 100 basis points in federal interest rate cuts between now and the end of the year. So we're 4 months in. We've got eight to go, and so it looks to me like I wouldn't want to be short. I think the greatest risk position anybody could have would be to be out of this market, out of the key assets and the high quality markets that are positioned to do well. I think we all kind of know what those are. Um, the tariffs I see is every single tariff deal that gets signed is like taking out another column of the Roman Colosseum. Each time there's a new trade deal enacted that equalizes or normalizes relationships and gets rid of that, centralization of power out of the hands of the swamp and the Federal Reserve controllers that own the swamp and the corporation known as the United States of America, Inc. Every single new tariff deal, if we sign 100, 120, 150, that's columns out of the Colosseum that collapse the centralization of the one world government and strengthens not only America, but it provides abundance the world over. So, again, the tariffs that the media wants to try to tear apart obviously are part of the bigger picture of interconnecting financial corridors, distributed ledger technology corridors, making certain that the 2 billion or so people that are unbanked have access to capital. They can have a wallet, they can have sovereignty, they can begin to become entrepreneurial and create a business or open up a shop or not just be completely victimized into servitude by dictatorial governmental leaders. I just, I think what's happening right now is such a master stroke of strategy. You almost have to think they've been running this AI plan and helping with the military intelligence guys for decades before President Trump ever came on the scene. And I don't know how to process it any other way than to know that there's higher forms of intelligence and the artificial intelligence that's been around for 30 years plus. We heard the Space Force general, who was an Air Force general for 30 years and in charge of the Space Force, talk about transporting people from any place in the planet, any place on Earth in less than an hour, bending time and energy. You can't tell me that AI just came on the scene in the last 2 or 3 years. It's been around for decades. And so, what does that mean when it comes to Q drops? Intel drops, the sequence of events as to what we're seeing, the masterful first 100 days of this administration. It's the unwinding of the Federal Reserve and the standing up of the real U.S. dollar, gold-backed sound money, treasuries, treasury-backed U.S. dollars instead of Federal Reserve-backed debt obligations. I mean, literally the world reserve currency is being put out to pasture. And we are going to stand up the strongest possible U.S. Treasury dollar and a digital dollar by the RLUSD with a 1-to-1 ratio of backing notes and T-bills and treasuries and very possibly and very likely gold behind our RLUSD. But the simple fact that it's going to be a digital dollar with 100% collateral backing ends the entire idea of fractional reserve lending, which is the house of cards the Federal Reserve has built itself on, that creates money out of thin air and puts us all in debt chains. Um, we all pretty much know that that world's over, and it's just it's a matter of transition from the old to the new, and capacity for the average person, the average business owner, the average politician to get the damn legislation ready for signature. All of that backroom dealing that's got to take place, but as they say, nothing can stop what is coming.